C programming interview questions. So basically, the C is developed by Dennis Ritchie in the Bell and Bell Labs between 1971 to 1973. So C is a middle level and structure oriented programming language. It is one of the world most popular languages, and there are many applications in which programming language is used, including languages, compilers, operating system, assemblers, network drivers, text editors, print spoolers, modern applications, language interpreters, databases, and utilities. So we are having here interview questions both for freshers and experienced. Now we see the interview questions for freshers. So why is C called middle level programming language? Due to its ability to support both low level and high level features, C is considered a middle level language. It is both an assembly level language, that is low level language, and a higher level language. So programs that are written in C are converted into assembly code, and they support pointer arithmetic, means low level, while being mission independent, means high level. Therefore, C is often referred as middle level language. So C can be used to write operating systems and menu driven consumer billing systems. What are the features of the C programming language? So we are having features of C programming languages that are fast and efficient, modularity, statistical type, general purpose language, and rich set of built-in operations. We are having here libraries with rich functions, middle level language, which is and having a good portability, and also it is very easy to extend, and it is a procedural language. C is a procedural language. What are the basic data types supported in the C programming language? Excuse me. Each variable in C has an associated data type. Each data type requires different amounts of memory and has some specific operations which can be performed over it. Specifies the type of data that variable can store, like integers, characters, floating, double, etc. So in C, the data types are broadly classified into four categories, which are primitive data types and primary data types, derived data types, and user defined data types. Here we see the data types in C. The primary data types are integer, it stores integer values, character, it stores character value, floating points, it stores decimal value, double floating point, which is double the floating point memory, void means null value. So derived data types. In the derived data types, we are having functions. What is function? Function is set of C executable statements. Arrays, a continuous memory allocation. Pointer, value of the address. References, aliases, and user defined data types, the which are class. Class is nothing but collection of data members in member functions. Structure. Structure is also same as a class, collection of data members in member function. The difference between class and structures are we are using with this, only we can access the elements with the objects. So same like as class, but class having full extensibility than structures. Unions, enum, and type def. These are the data types in C language. So what are the tokens? So we are having uh, tokens. Tokens are identifiers, are the smallest single unit in a program that is meaningful to the compiler. In C, we have the following tokens that are keywords, predefined or reserved words. In C language, uh, every keyword is meant to perform a specific task in program. So the C supports 32 keywords. Identifier means identifier is are nothing but is a user defined names that consist of arbitrarily long sequence of digits or letters with either letter or the underscore as a first character. Identifier names can't be equal to any reserved keywords in the C programming language. There are set of rules which a programmer must follow in order to name in identifier in C. Constants are normal variables that cannot be modified in the programming. Once they are defined, constants refer to fixed value. If suppose we are given the constant value x equal to 5, whenever we use the value, whenever we use the x, it replaces the value is 5, which is constants. So the variables nothing but it varies the value in the programming, but constants never change. Next, strings. Strings in C are an array of characters that end with a null character. Means the null character denotes with slash o 0 slash 0, that is null character. In the strings, the last character must be null character. We should keep in mind this one. Special symbols. The some special symbols in C have some special meanings and thus they cannot be used for any other purposes of the program. So the special symbols are ash equal to flower braces, brackets, so star and square brackets are the special symbols in the C programming language. So we can use these special symbols in the different usages we see in the program. Next, operators. Operators is symbols that trigger an action when they are applied to any variable or any other object. Unary, binary, ternary operators. So unary means only one operator, binary means two operators, ternary means three operators is used in the programming language. What do you mean by scope of the variable? So which is very important. Scope means is a block or a region where the variable will have its existence, and beyond that region the variable is automatically destroyed. Every variable has its defined scope. In simple terms, the scope of a variable is equal to its life in the program. The scope is nothing but life of the variable in the program. So the variable can be declared in three places. These are local variables, second one is global variables, and third one is formal parameters. So the local variables are always in the function or block. Global variable means it is out of all functions globally inside the program. Formal parameters means it will be declared in the function parameters. What are the preprocessor directives in C? In C, directives are considered the built-in predefined functions or macros. As we know that preprocessor directories means ash includes studio.hvc. When whatever the things we started with ash is nothing but preprocessors. It executes before the main function executes. There are multiple steps involved in writing and executing programming in C. Main type preprocessor directories that are macros, file inclusions, condition compilations, and other directories like ash undiv, ash pragma, etc. So this is a preprocessor. In the C source code C program, are there any preprocessor directories? Yes. First execute preprocessor perform an action. No. Go for the compiler. The compiler compiles the code into object code, and it's the object code sent to linker. The linker is sent to the executable code. This is the architecture. What is the use of static variable in C? So we see the static variable used to preserve the data values between the function calls, even after they are out of their scope also. Static variables preserve their values in their scope and they can be used again in the program without initializing again. Static variables have an initial value assigned to 0 without initialization. You see here in the program we are given static int var. So initial value of the static variable is var means 0. So the x value also it gives without static gives us a 0. But next time also it will give 0 only. What is the difference between malloc and calloc? So malloc is the memory allocation and the both are dynamic memory allocations allotted during the runtime of the program in the heap segment from the heap segment. So the std library.h file that used to facilitate dynamic memory allocation in the C programming language. So definition of malloc. So it creates a one block of the memory of a fixed size and that assigns more than one block memory to a single variable. So the number of arguments, the malloc only takes one argument, but calloc takes two arguments. Parameters malloc speed is malloc function is faster than calloc. Calloc is slower than malloc. Efficiency, it has high time efficiency, which is calloc is having low time efficiency. Usage, malloc is used to indicate memory allocation. The calloc is used to indicate continuous memory allocation. So we keep in mind that malloc is used to memory and calloc is used to continuous memory allocations. What do you mean by dangling pointer? And how are dangling pointers different from memory leaks in C programming? So pointers means nothing but pointing you to deallocate memory blocks in C programming are known as dangling pointers. That is, whenever a pointer is pointing to some memory location, and in case the variable is deleted and the pointer still points to the same memory location, then it is known as a dangling pointer variable. In C programming, memory leak occurs when we allocate memory with the help of the malloc or calloc library function. But we forget to free the allocated memory with the help of free library function. Memory leak causes the program to use an undefined amount of memory from RAM, which makes it unavailable for other running programs. This causes our program to crash. So write the program to convert a number to string with the help of sprintf. So here you see the syntax of the sprintf. So for that sprintf we use so for that we use string.h and the studio.h is the main one for input output strings, standard input output. And here we created 30 array and a equal to 32.23. So which is we are converting these 32.23 into character by using sprintf function. String printf res. This is the syntax string printf and that which type we are converting that variable and we use the access specifiers that is percentile f of this a is a float, that's why we are giving here percentile f and a which is the value we are assigning to the res. Now we are printing this c by using here this is a collection of string, so that's why we are giving here percentile s. So earlier we used here for characters we seen the percentile c, but we are seeing here with the percentile s comma res. So what is recursion in C? Recursion is a process of making the function call itself directly or indirectly. So a recursive function solves a particular problem by calling a copy of itself and solving smaller subproblems that some of the original problems. So recursion helps to reduce the length of code and make it more understandable. The recursion function uses LIFO, means last in, first out. Structures like stack. So every recursive call in the program requires extra space in stack memory. So which is very important. What is the difference between local and global variables in C? Local variables are declared inside block or a function, but global variables are declared outside the block or function to be accessed globally. So local variables means is declared in the between the functions or within the functions or within the block. But global variables are declared outside the function before the main we use that global variables. By default, variables store a garbage value, but here the variable stores 0 in the global type. So the life of the local variable is destroyed after the block or a function. Here in the global variables exist until the program is executed. Variables are stored inside the stack unless they are specified by the programmer. The storage location of the global variable is decided by the compiler. To access the local variables in other functions, parameter passing is required. No parameter passing is required. They are globally visible throughout the program. What is pointer and their uses? A pointer is nothing but which stores the address of the variable or a memory location. Pointer can also be used to refer to another pointer function. The main purpose of the pointer is to save memory space and increase execution time. Uses of pointers are to pass arguments by reference, and second thing is for accessing array elements, to return multiple values, dynamic memory allocation, to implement data structures, to do system level programming where memory addresses are useful. How pointer works we see here. Initially we created a variable with assigning the value of 10 as a type of integer. So it stores the variable name of 10 in the address hash 2008. Now the pointer here ampersand variable. The ampersand variable means ampersand means it is an address operator. We are storing in the pointer the address of the variable which is 2008. Here star ptr means here we see star ptr equal to 20 means the star represents value at the address. So we are storing 20 at the address. So this 20 comes and store in the variable. And here double star ptr and star ptr. This is having some address again. Then, so we are assigning this address to the star ptr, and the star ptr equal to 30. Now it's again storing here with the value 30. What is type def in C? We see here in C programming, type def means is a keyword that defines an alias for existing type, whether it is an integer variable or function parameter or structure declaration. Type def will shorten the name. The type def syntax is type def, existing type, and the alias name. Here, existing type is already given name. Alias name is with the new name. You see here, type def long, instead of long we are giving long ll. So if suppose if I want to give the type def int I. So the higher if I, if I given type def int I, with the I can declare the integer type of variables. Now the I is acting as integer. Here the long LL is acting as long. What are the loops and how can we create an infinite loop in C? We are having loop means what loop? The continuous execution of a repetitive execution is called a loop. So here the loop will having two types of loops that are entry control and exit controls. So here we see an infinite loop is piece of code that lacks a functional exit. Means in the infinite loop there is no exit. It repeats indefinitely. There can be only two things when there is an infinite loop in the program. One, it was designed to loop endlessly until the condition is met with the loop. Another can be wrong or unsatisfied break conditions in the program. So we see here entry controlled. These are the entry controlled for and while. Exit controlled is do while. So below program is infinite loop. We see here there is no declaration. This prints infinite times. And while one always true and it gives infinite times. Do while one true it gives infinite. That are infinite loops syntaxes. What is the difference between typecasting and type conversion? See, the type casting means the data type is converted to another data type by the programmer with the help of a casting operator. Type conversion means the data type is converted to another data by a compiler. Here, the typecasting will done with the programmer, but in the type conversion can be done to the data type with the compiler. It can be typecasting can be applied both to compatible data types as well as incompatible data types. So the type conversion can only be applied to only the compatible data types. So the type casting to cast the data type into another data type, a operator is needed. In type conversion, there is no need of casting operator. Type casting is more efficient and reliable. Type conversion is less efficient and reliable than typecasting. The typecasting takes place during the program design by the programmer. Type conversion done at a compile time. You see in the syntax, the destination data type is equal to target data type and variable to be converted. Here syntax int equal to float equal to b. So b equal to your means here automatically the b value 20.00 floating variable. So this is about typecasting and type conversion. What are the header files and their uses? The C language has numerous libraries which contain predefined functions to make programming easier. Header files contain predefined standard library functions. All header files must have .h extension. Header files contain function definitions, data type definitions, and macros, which can be imported with the help of preprocessed directive as include. The preprocessed directives instruct the compiler that these files are need to be processed before the compilation. There are two types of header files: user defined header files and pre existing header files. For example, if our code needs to take input from the user and print desired output to the screen, then stdio.h header file must be included in the program. As include stdio.h, the header file contains functions like scanf, printf, which are used to take input from the user and print the content. What are the functions and their types? The functions, the function means is a block of code that is used to perform a task multiple times rather than writing it out multiple times in our program. Function avoid repetition of code and increase the readability of the program. Modifying a program become easier with the help of function and hence reduces the chance of errors. There are two types of functions, user defined functions and as well as built-in functions. Functions that are defined by the user to reduce the complexity of programs. They are built only to satisfy the condition in which the user is facing issues and are commonly known as tailor mode functions. Built-in functions, library functions are provided by the compiler package and consist of special functions with special and different meaning. These functions give programmers an edge as we can directly use them without defining them. What is the difference between macro and function? A macro is the name that given to a set of block of statements, C statements as a preprocessor directive. Macro is defined with the preprocessor directive. Macro is preprocessed, which means that all the macros would be preprocessed before the compilation of our program. Before the compilation of program is macro. Okay. However, the functions are not processed but compiled. Functions are compiled, but macros always pre-processed. The difference we see in the table: macro and function. Macros means macros are pre-processed, functions are compiled. Code length is increasing in macro. Code length remain unaffected using function. Execution speed using macro is faster. Execution speed using function is slower. The macro name is replaced by the function macro value before compilation only. But the transfer of control takes place during the function call. Macro doesn't check any compile time errors. Function check compile time errors. So these are the intermediate level questions. We see how to convert a string to number in C. By using sscanf function, we convert. And another function is there using s2i library function or using a2i library function. We convert string to integer, integer to string. So we see here scanf is reads input from string rather than standard input. S2i or A2i. These are functions takes string literal or character array as an argument and integer value is returned. What are the reserved keywords? As discussed earlier, the C programming supports 32 keywords and having meaning and also is already defined and it cannot be used for the purpose of creating variable names. And also the keywords are auto, else, if, long, like 32 keywords are there. These keywords having specific meaning and we can't use the keywords as a variable name. What is structure? The structure is a keyword and that is used to create user defined data types. By using the structure we can create user defined data types. The structure allows storing multiple types of data in a single unit. As we see in the array, array also stores multiple data, but same type of data, but the structure stores multiple type of data, okay, as a single unit. The structure members can only be accessed through the structure variable. Struct student, the structure name is student, is having character name 20, integer roll number 20, roll number, character address of 20, character branch 20. It is having mixed integer and characters of different variables under the name student. So we can access these variables by using the structure object. We see here this program we can understood very well. We have created this structure student. In the main program, the structure can be declared before the main program. And here we see struct student. We are calling the structure student by creating object. It will execute and strcpy, the string copy function, is used to assign the name, is used to copy the name into obj.name. So obj is nothing but which is an object of the student structure. Dot gives whatever the elements. By using the dot operator, we can access the structure variables, and I'm assigning by using this object obj dot name. I'm assigning Kamlesh Joshi to name, and obj dot roll number equal to 27, and strcp obj dot address Haldwani branch and assigning. So I can print the name with the printf name. So it is a collection of characters. Why? Because that's so because not why. So because by using the percentile s, I am retrieving the data from the name by using the object of student obj.name and the roll number obj.roll number and obj.address obj.branch. So here we are giving int, that's why I written 0 here. Like this it will print. So different data types we are assigning and we are printing. Next important thing is union. A union is a user defined data type that allows user to store multiple types of data in a single unit. However, union does not occupy the sum of the memory of all members. As we see above here, this structure will occupy some of these all student variable uh, data type bytes. Here char having 20 bytes, integer is 2 bytes, char is 50 bytes, 50 50 plus 100, 100 plus 20, how much? 100 plus 120, and this 2 122 is the size of this student. But the coming to the union, it holds memory of the largest member only. So if I suppose I created with this instead of structure union, union student means it takes only the highest memory means which is 50 bytes only. That is telling here. It holds the memory of the largest member only, since the union allocates one common space for all the members. We can access only a single variable at a time. The union can be useful in many situations where we want to use the same memory for two or more members. The union is used to store the two or three members data into a same memory location. We are using union, and also union occupies highest means largest memory of a member only. The union, we can give union name, data type like that we will see union. What is r value and what value, and l value refers with an object identifier location in memory that is having an address, and l value will appear either on the right or left side of the assignment operator. So R value is a data value stored memory at a given address, and R value refers to an object without an identified location in memory. An R value is an expression that cannot be assigned a value. Therefore, it can only exist on the right side of the assignment operator. If suppose we see here, which is L value and this is R value, here the L value is 20 and the R value is also 20. 20, this is 20 R value. We are assigning this, that's why the value becomes L value. And 20 is the R value. Right value and left value, R value, L value, nothing but. Understood? Next, this is important here. What is the call by value and call by reference? In the functions, we see this call by value and call by reference. Values of the variable are passed while function calls. Here in the call by value, we pass the values. In the call by reference, we pass the address of a variable, while function call. So here in the call by value, dummy variable copy, we send dummy variable copy the value of each variable in the function call. Here dummy variable copy the address of the actual value. Here, any changes made to the dummy variable, does not affect the actual value. But in the call by reference, any changes made to the dummy value, it reflects to the actual value. A simple technique is used to pass the values of variables, and the address of the variables must be stored in the pointer variables. What is sleep? Sleep function. A sleep function is uh, in C. It allows the user to wait for a current thread for a given amount of time. The sleep function will sleep the present executable for the given amount of time by the thread, but other operations of the CPU will function properly. Sleep function returns 0 if the requested time has elapsed. What is enumeration? So, which is important? Enum is a user-defined data type. Enum allows integral constants to be named, which makes a program easier to read and maintain. For example, the days of a week can be defined as an enum and can be used anywhere in the program. If suppose we see here as include studio.h enum week, the week consists of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So enum weekday. So day equal to Wednesday I'm assigning percentile D day. So here we just starting with 0 and 1, 2. In the above example, day is variable, the value of the Wednesday allocated to 2. So the result is printed 2. Constant values. Enum is nothing but. Okay. What is volatile? Here we see where it is that it's coming going up very fastly. Fibonacci series you know na 0 1 1 2, these are the Fibonacci series. How is source code is different from object code, which is important. Source code is generated by the programmer and object code is generated by the compiler or another translator. High level code which human understandable, the source code means English language. The low level code on not understandable human, and source code can be easily modified and contains less number of statements than object code. Object code cannot be modified and contains more statements than source code. Source code can be changed over time and not system specific. Object code can be modified and is system specific. So source code is less close to the machine and is input to the compiler or any other translator. So object code is more close to the machine and output of the compiler or any other translator. Language translators like compilers, assemblers, and interpreters are used to translate source code to object code. And object code is a machine code, so it is does not require any translation. Okay, already translated code that one. What is static memory allocation and dynamic memory allocation? So the memory allocations which is done at compile time is known as static memory allocation. Static memory allocation saves running time. It faster than dynamic memory allocation as memory allocation is done from the stack. This memory allocation method is less efficient as compared to dynamic memory allocation. It is mostly preferred in the array. Dynamic memory allocation. Memory allocation done at execution or runtime is known as dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation is slower than static memory allocation as memory allocation is done from the heap. So this memory allocation method is more efficient as compared to the static memory allocation. It is mostly preferred in the linked list. What is pass by reference function? So pass by reference allows function to modify a variable without making a copy of the variable. The memory location of the passed variable and parameter are the same. This is a call by reference. So any changes done to the parameter will be reflected to the variable as well as we see in the uh, this pass by reference means that is a call by value call by reference. What is memory leak and how to avoid it? Whenever a variable is defined, some amount of memory is created in the heap. So if the programmer forgets to delete the memory, this undeleted memory in the heap is called as a memory leak. So the performance of the program is reduced since the amount of available memory was reduced. To avoid memory leaks, memory allocated on the heap should always be cleared when it is no longer needed. Okay, by using so we can clear so memory leaks not occur in the heap. What are the command line arguments? So the arguments are passed to the main function of the program in the command line shell of operating system are known as command line arguments. That is int main, int argument c, char argument v, the code which is to be executed, which is called as command line argument. And what is an auto keyword? Every local variable of a function known as an automatic variable in the C language. Auto is the default storage class for all the variables which are declared inside the function or block. So auto variables can only be accessed within the block or function they have been declared. So we can use them outside their scope with the help of pointers. So we can use with the help of the pointers. By default, auto keyword consists of garbage value. Okay. Was swap of a number without using third variable. So first number and second number variable and one variable two. So adding and minus. So that is the program. We check if the program is palindrome or not. Explain modifiers. A modifier is nothing but is a keyword that are used to change the meaning of a basic data type in C language. So the specifies the amount of memory that is to be allocated to the variable. These are the five data types modifiers in the programming language, C programming language, that are long, short, signed, unsigned, long. I've seen the long there. So write a program of the factorial of a number. So factorial is which is in factorial. Okay, we see the programs in later point. They will concentrate on only the interview questions. Mm, what is the use of extern storage specifier? The extern is used to extend the visibility of the C variable and the functions in the C language. Extern is a short name of external, and it is used when the particular file needs to access variable from any other file. So external keyword increases the redundancy, and variables within external keyword are only declared, uh, not defined. So by default, functions are visible throughout the program. So there are no need to declare or define external functions. So, what is the use of printf, scanf functions in C programming language? Also explain the format specified. So, printf is used to print the parameters, and scanf is used to read the data from the users. And the access specifiers are percentile C used for characters, and percentile D used for integers, percentile F and used for the floating points, percentile S is used for strings, and percentile P E is the used for address printing. Percentile P used for address printing, which is a new one. We learned today. What is near and far huge pointer in C? You see one by one. The near pointers are used to store 16-bit address only. Using the near pointer, we cannot store the address with the size greater than 16 bits. The far pointer is a pointer which is having 32-bit size, and the information outside the computer memory from the current segment can be also be accessed. Huge pointers. Huge pointer is a typically considered a pointer of 32 bits of size, but bits located uh, outside are stored outside the segments and can also be accessed. Mention file operations in C. That is file operations F open, F close, F gets, F printf. The program whether linked list is circular or not, circular or not. This is the program is created for circular or not. So this is our linked list programs. We see the data structures in the later point. Mm, so we see here what is the difference between getc, getchar, getchu, and getchi. Getc, we see getc. The function reads a single character, getc, input stream and returns the integer value. Typical the ASCII value of the character. If it succeeds on failure, it returns the EOF control Z. Okay, when you press control Z, that enter the file. Okay, and get char. Unlike getc, getchar can be read from standard input. It is equivalent to getc stdin. Getch. It is a non-standard function and is present in conio.h, which is present in conio.h header file, which is mostly used in MS-DOS compiler like Turbo C. And getchi, it reads single character from the keyboard and displays it immediately on the output string without waiting for any enter key by this getch. So these are the important questions we seen, and we see some more important questions in the later point of the videos. Please subscribe for my efforts and complete C++, Java, Oracle, .NET. Like all programs will interview questions and programs will share in this YouTube channel. Please follow this channel. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.